Good evening, everybody. Sarah's with two writers here. This is gonna be a video, a driving video of a pretty extreme condition. You see, as you can see, it's raining cats and dogs. It's flooding over here, and as you can see, like these little mini lights on the bike is extremely important, especially like driving in extreme conditions like this. But we're in the border of Liloan and Mandawi here. Huh?
We're already in Sayud.
Where?
Sayud, it's from commercial, not Liloan.
Okay. So yeah, we're in the border of Liloan and Mandawi here, and then we're heading back towards Lapu-Lapu. But I'm hoping here's a little bit more advanced, like driving 101 in this kind of extreme environment. You can see the floor is pretty flooded. This area that we're heading up, is pretty flooded. And generally in a situation like this, you want to follow right behind somebody just to make sure. Well, first and foremost, like the guy on the left right there, like he's kind of driving on the higher portion of the road where it's not flooding, try to avoid the flood. But in the case where you have to get into the flood water, it's best to follow immediately behind somebody, because as somebody is driving there, it's just like being right behind it. You pretty much know what is ahead of you. There's a certainty of what's ahead of you, especially when the flood, it might be covering some kind of pothole, huge potholes or stuff like that, where you would at a certain speed, you would definitely eat it and damage the vehicle, the tire. And in a situation like this, it's if you damage your tire, you're gonna be stuck, kind of. But in a situation like this, it's best not to drive, especially here in the Philippines. Everything is so cheap. You can easily find a hotel room or cheap hotel room for maybe here $15-20, and best to stay away. But getting back to the flood area, if absolutely necessary, if you're the only one on the road, and there's a flood that you have to cross, it's best to go as slow as possible. If you hit a pothole, you're not going to cause as much of a damage to your vehicle, number one, and then look at it, here's the flood I'm talking about. And number two, in the case that you do hit a pothole, you're not gonna be ejected from your bike. So this is pretty bad right here, as you can see. And I'm trying to follow behind that car's left wheel, and then now I'm following the guy in front of me, and I'm trying to stay at the center median line over here, where the flood is not as exaggerated as it is on the right hand side. Yeah, you see how bright it is in front of me? It's because of the mini lights. And for a few pesos, in terms of US dollars, it's less than $3 US. And to purchase it, and the labor is less than like $3 US. It's just I feel it's absolutely 100% necessary. You never need it until you need it. And in a situation like this, I'm glad I have it. Over a total of $5, including labor. So, not saying that I'm a professional driver or anything like that, but I'm very accustomed to driving in the Philippines and these kind of environment and these kind of conditions. So, we're just heading back to Lapu-Lapu, which is maybe like about 30 kilometers to 20 kilometers. And, I weigh the option of, renting a room, but in this situation like this, I'm pretty familiar with it. We often travel, and we often get ourselves in situations like these, and a raincoat on, and it's pretty much going and pacing ourselves. I'm acclimated to it. I think that's the better word. Acclimated. It's still very dangerous. No matter how accustomed to to the traffic conditions here and the driving environment here, but there's certain risks that you take, there's certain risks that you don't, and because as you can see, like traffic that comes to the traffic is pretty empty, and I get to stay away from people, and then of course, if you've been following my channel for a while on a few adventures, a few of my motor vlogs, I'm not the slowest driver, but in situations like this, it's best to just stay at currently 35 kilometers per hour, because you just don't know. If whatever you don't know, best to be careful. Like for instance, this big rig that is in front of me, I can't to the front left side of me, so I'm gonna, I'm not going to punch it and try to pass them, not knowing, what's on the front left side of me, so I'm gonna always approach with caution. Whereas over here, straight ahead, I have a distinct visual of where I'm going, and with a rain like this, I can't even put my helmet visor down because rain accumulates. I paid like $20 for a spray bottle of Rain-X, but I didn't anticipate for it to rain like this. This is the beginning of the rain season, so it comes and goes. But generally speaking, in the Philippines, when it rains, it generally rains for 10-15 minutes, and it was fast. No more than 30 minutes. But I was just walking in the puddle. But today it's been raining for like 3 hours already, and we were up in Carmen, a little bit north, the city north of Canal, by the farming safari, or Cebu safari, and we just got caught in a situation like this, and we just thought we make the best out of it, just pace ourselves and not rush, and get home safely. But if traffic was normal, and like a long line or something like that, I would probably opt to rent a room, because I wouldn't want to be stuck in this environment or this situation for 3-4 hours sitting in traffic in this kind of rain. And it's a little bit difficult to drive because, again, it's just like I can't even put my visor down because it gets it is a clear visor, but it gets the water gets in the way, and it just accumulates, and the droplets accumulates and blocks my visibility. And then if I put my visor up, then the rain is so hard that it's punching me in the face, and it's not fun. And we're gonna go ahead and make this right turn over here, and I have to run off this puddle. Right turn, right, honey? Wow, look at how flooded it is. Was I supposed to turn here?
Huh?
Was I supposed to turn here?
Yeah, look at your turn here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so flooded. A lot of these streets in the Philippines doesn't have a left turn, well, not in the Philippines in general, but in Cebu, they don't have left turns. So you have to be very cautious of that. So in order for us to accomplish a left turn, we have to make a right and then a U-turn such as this. And the new bridge, which is a northern bridge that I'm trying to take, is right in back of us, so I have to make a U-turn. A right turn and a U-turn in lieu of a straight left turn, It's have to approach it with caution because you have to assume that the car visibility is very limited as well, as is mine. And also, like when the floor is wet from rain, obviously it's slippery. So I wouldn't make certain like I wouldn't make certain decisions that I would otherwise make when it's not raining. So generally, I'm a pretty aggressive driver, but because of the rain and the situation here, it changed me. I gotta take it easy for the sake of safety. But as traffic accumulates here going on the bridge, well, this is not the point of bridge yet. But yeah, it's just better to be cautious and drive another day. Even though the rain has calmed down and we're at a light drizzle right now, but as you can see from my rear view mirror, the water has accumulated, and the visibility of what's of what's on the mirror is very limited. So what I'm about to say next is pretty much against logic. It's just like I don't even use the rear view mirror, and I don't even do a head check in the Philippines. It's just in conditions like this, just stay predictable, drive like a grandma. Drivers here are generally pretty courteous. If you stay predictable and not make certain lane changes, certain movements, people usually get out of your way because, well, my speculation is, it's like over here, it's just time is very valuable, and people don't want to be involved in an accident and have to take time away from work or take time to repair the bike, which is essential to the livelihood here. And insurance here is not the same as, or as I understand it, it's not the same as the United States or any Western countries. There aren't any pain and suffering and future medical payments and stuff like that. It's just, you file a claim, it takes a long time to process the claim, and even if your claim is being approved, they simply pay for the repair. What was damaged? If the accident involved, somebody going to the hospital, then the person deemed at fault, it's just like the insurance company will pay for the hospital bill. That's it. There aren't any medical payments for, like future pain and suffering and stuff like that. So, drivers here, they're just more cautious, and they prefer not to be in an accident. And growing up in LA, I just know a lot of people get into a situation where it is deemed insurance fraud because, they want to take advantage of, all these pain and suffering and medical payments and stuff like that. Going to the chiropractor and blah blah blah. But so Philippines, nope. Then you pay for the damage. That's it. You go through a long, expensive.
The left side.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the left side here. Because the center and the right is pretty deep. Yeah, previously when I first arrived in the Philippines, there was a situation where I was riding my little yellow Yamaha Mio I-125, or pretty much the smallest bike that I've ever owned. And at the old bridge, the flood was like knee high, and we had no choice to cross it. And it just so happened that it was so deep that it flooded the engine, and the engine gave way and it just wouldn't run anymore. But fortunately, we found some kind of island sidewalk and stood it up, and some locals came by and helped me mitigate the situation and drain the flood. and then the fight started again where we can go ahead and move on, but we have to push most of the way through the flood, up into the bridge. But as you can see over here, like they opened and traffic opened up and no flood. So I just have a little bit more confidence to go a little bit faster, a little bit more normal. But as you can see, I'm still going 53, 52 because of the slip factor. But once again, it's just if you're able to stay away from the situation simply by paying $20, to get a hotel room and sit it out, that's the best option to take, especially if you're here. If you're new to the Philippines, you're not accustomed to the environment, and I've seen many people who visit the Philippines, end up getting injured and stuff like that. And, their entire trip is ruined because they make a wrong move or a wrong decision or something like that, and a decision that doesn't have to be made over a $20 hotel room, So if you're not accustomed to it, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel safe, you're not familiar with the situation, then to just spend $20 and get that hotel room and sit it out. If you can't afford $20 or $20 a big deal, then maybe you have no business being in the Philippines in the first place. Not to sound cocky or arrogant, but that's the whole truth, if something was to happen, like Jason, traveling machinist, recently went to the ER, and it was pretty cheap, it was about, he had some x-ray done and stuff like that from falling from a motorbike. We just, thought that he had a hairline fracture, so there was some x-ray taken and some ER services and prescription muscle relaxers and painkillers, and the bill came out to a little bit under, well, actually a little bit over $100. I think it was $120 US. He was like not quite 1,000, so my math is not great, but it was 5,900 something. My point is cheap, but $100 is a lot more expensive than $20, and with the $20 and getting the hotel room, you don't have to go through the pain and suffering that would ruin your trip. It's best to make good decisions here in the Philippines, nurture your health, so you can enjoy the Philippines. And also, I had a renter that was going to rent my bike on the day of arrival, and then he was gonna rent it on the day after his arrival, and then he and his wife, on the day of arrival was pretty enthused about arriving in the Philippines, and they took a banana boat ride. With the banana, they call it the banana boat here, but it's just basically an inflatable banana-shaped floaty, which you get on and ride it while being pulled by a jet. So the jet ski, in an effort to make it more thrilling, like they make like sudden turns and stuff like that, just like almost like riding a mechanical bull. That's what they're trying to emulate. And then the wife fell off, and the impact of the water was so hard, so aggressive, that she broke her collarbone, and he ended up not being able to rent my bike for the 2 months that he anticipated, which I can totally understand. But the point is, in the Philippines, there's a lack of liability. It's just like when you ride a bike or ride a jet ski or like a banana boat or whatever, the risk is assumed. It's logical. It's not like what I'm used to back in the US, where liability is very apparent, at the business owner. People can, I guess, back then, a few years back when I was working for the corporate, the HR department, the human resource department of Panda Restaurant Group, Panda Express and stuff like that. Customers will come in and, do a fake slip and fall, and then, just like, and they file a frivolous lawsuit, even though it's frivolous. It's just in the company's interest to settle the lawsuit because of cost of court and lawyers and blah blah blah. In the Philippines, you fall off something, that's your fault for not seeing the puddle. Or if you ride a motorbike on two wheels, you should already know that it's more dangerous than riding in the four wheel because of the balance factor. You don't have to balance the car, whereas you have to balance a scooter or a motorcycle. Wow, look at the traffic. And then you see this curve on the right here. I can't see what's in front of me, so I'm not gonna assume that it's empty. So I'm gonna follow this guide, and then I'm gonna pay attention to the light reflections on the floor, for the upcoming traffic. And when you drive enough and you pay enough attention, it's just like the reflection of the lights on the floor from oncoming traffic. You can generally tell the size of the car. But it's regardless of the size of the car, it's just it's just not run into anybody anyhow. But my point is, being able to tell the size of the car, because you have to find on the right hand side right here, as you can see, like this car right here has, I have room to sneak in over here, whereas that van in front of me, I don't. So if a big rig was to come, I don't want to be next to that van, which is pretty much on the center divider, and get sideswiped by a big rig. So you have to calculate all these things way beforehand. You have to calculate these things so you don't get yourself in a sticky situation, because on a curve like that, a big rig coming up on a curve, they don't necessarily see you until, by the time they see you, it's too late. You see, so I'm gonna, I have to, I'll wait for this guy. You see this Toyota on the left right here, oncoming traffic. It's like they swerve around you because, they're cordial. That's just the driving culture over here, It's just like on their side, on the oncoming side, it's just the traffic is not bad. It's flowing, so they have two lanes, so they're not gonna be an asshole and angry honk at you, or purposely running. They just simply swerve to the right lane, their right lane, and just avoid you. Understanding that the infrastructure here in the Philippines is pretty bad, and most of these vehicle drivers, they at some point in their life, if not still, own a motorbike, so they are understanding of the situation, so they stay cordial. I mean, occasionally, once in a while, but a very small percentage. You do have that person that is road raging and doing that angry thing. So we're just approaching the fruit stand that we all know, not quite. Well, the rain completely stopped now, but the floor is still wet. benefits of being on two wheels. You know, you don't have to be stuck in traffic, in miserable traffic like the rest of these people. They can find a hole to fit. So, these four-wheel vehicles, we don't have a choice. Coming up at another point. So I'm gonna veer left over here. Yeah, this is rush hour over here. Everybody's getting off work. And then you always have to be careful if they stop in the middle of the road. They make sudden stops, you know, to pick up passengers. So you never, ever, ever overtake them on the right hand side. You know, like, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, this almost seems like most drivers here, a majority of drivers here, like me, you know, we don't even look at our rear view mirror. But these Jeepneys and tricycle, they do make sudden stops and they do make sudden turns, sudden movements, because, you know, when they're driving and they see, you know, people standing on the sidewalks and stuff like that, they, the rain is coming back. You know, like they even the eye, and then, you know, like a lot of people standing on the sidewalk, you know, they usually don't even signal that they stop until the very last moment. You know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I always, you know, like give them a signal from far away. You know, like putting out my finger, my two fingers. You know, almost like to flag them down. You know, but you know, these locals, I often notice that they don't do that. You know, they wait for the last possible minute, which makes these Disney and tricycle drivers, you know, in a situation where they make sudden, you know, turn, they pull over suddenly to pick up the passengers, which can be a very sticky situation. So I try to overtake, you know, always on the left. On occasions, you know, 5 vehicles, I would, if that are in front of me, I would overtake on the right, but I try to limit that to as little as possible. And also, you know, when I do that, you know, it's just like I try to get as close to the car as possible, and then I punch it. And, you know, so the whole point is, you know, basically just smash them in as little of time frame as possible. You know, just, you know, taking away that exposure as much as you can possibly can, and get into their line of vision, you know, as quickly as you can. Yeah, so when you try to overtake people, don't do it slow. If you're gonna do it slow, you might as well don't overtake anybody. Just stay in your proper lane and just go with the flow. The entire right lane is not being utilized because of the flood. Look at that.
What's its name?
It's like a swimming pool. And they don't smell so great either. It's probably a good mixture of sewage. Anyway, we're pretty much very close to Lapu-Lapu over here. We're gonna make a right where Mactan Newtown is, and we're pretty much home. So you get the idea over here. I try to talk to you guys, and then and talk you guys through as much as I can while giving you guys a visual over here, capturing it on camera. And for those who have followed me for a long time on Q Adventures, you probably seen this route 1,000 times already. So I'm gonna tune out here. Thank you very much for tuning into my channel and you ever supported my channel. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
Please like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell please.